Imagine living a life of boundless potential, yet feeling trapped by an invisible force, an internal conflict that seems impossible to resolve. What if I told you that understanding this conflict could completely transform how you see yourself and your place in the world? It's not an easy journey, but it's precisely these challenges that bring growth and profound meaning. Today, we're embarking on a unique journey, a deep dive into the realm of psychology illuminated by Carl Gustav Jung. Together, we'll explore the concept of Puer Aeternus, the eternal child, a powerful psychological archetype, and uncover how it manifests in our modern lives. How might the hidden aspects of your psyche, often obscured by the rush of daily life, hold the key to unlocking your true potential? Stay with me until the end, because I'll share a groundbreaking insight about this archetype, a discovery that could not only reshape the way you perceive yourself, but also open the door to profound personal awakening. This is your moment to face yourself, to confront the eternal child within you, and to begin your journey toward true freedom in life. Part 1. What is the eternal child archetype? Carl Jung described the archetype of Puer Aeternus, the eternal child, as a symbol of eternal youth, a never-ending longing for unexplored possibilities, an unbounded free spirit, and a passion for adventures with uncertain destinations. It embodies endless curiosity and creativity, but it also carries its shadows, such as a lack of realism and a tendency to avoid responsibility. If this sounds familiar, it's because this archetype doesn't just exist in mythology or psychological analysis. It plays a significant role in our everyday lives. It could be that friend who constantly dreams of grand plans but never takes the first step. Or it might even be you, drawn to lofty ideals but hesitant to commit to a concrete path. The Puer Aeternus archetype is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it fuels creativity and innovation. The eternal child refuses to accept limits, always seeking new ways to view the world and challenge conventional norms. This explains why individuals influenced by this archetype are often highly imaginative, passionate, and capable of inspiring others. However, its darker side lies in a tendency to avoid reality and a fear of responsibility. Those embodying the eternal child often feel trapped by anything that demands long-term commitment, whether it's a stable job or a serious relationship. This relentless craving for freedom can lead them to jump from one opportunity to the next without ever fully achieving fulfillment or satisfaction. Why does this matter? Understanding this archetype is a crucial step towards self-discovery and finding balance in life. The traits of the eternal child aren't entirely negative. In fact, its enthusiasm and creativity can be powerful drivers for achieving extraordinary things. But when left unchecked, it can lead to a life filled with dissatisfaction and the frustration of dreams left unfulfilled. Ask yourself, have you ever felt like you have too many dreams but don't know where to start? Do you fear that committing to one path might mean missing out on other possibilities? These are the questions this archetype forces us to confront. Facing them not only helps you better understand yourself, but also opens the door to building a life that balances freedom with responsibility. In the following sections, we'll dive deeper into how you can transform the power of the eternal child archetype into a positive force, rather than letting it take control of you. Part 2. The eternal child in modern society. In today's world, the Puer Aeternus archetype is not only alive but is also nurtured by cultural, technological, and societal pressures. Pop culture constantly glorifies freedom, eternal youth, and endless opportunities, pulling many into an endless cycle of dreaming without ever finding true fulfillment. Pop culture, idealizing youth. Movies, songs, and advertisements often glorify youth as the most exciting time of life. The concepts of living life to the fullest or living without limits are portrayed as ideals, while the reality of adulthood and commitment is downplayed or even avoided. These alluring messages can create unrealistic expectations, leading to frustration when faced with the real challenges of growing up. Social media, amplifying comparison and discontent. In the digital age, social media platforms have become stages where people showcase the best versions of their lives. From lavish vacation photos to impressive career achievements, social media paints an idealized picture that can make many feel like their lives are dull or lacking meaning. Those influenced by the Puer Aeternus archetype are especially vulnerable to these images, often focusing on untapped potential and the feeling that they should be doing more. Instead of focusing on the present and building a solid foundation for the future, they get caught up in unhealthy comparisons and the feeling of falling behind. The modern economy, freedom without stability. The modern job market also fuels this archetype. In a world where freelancing and the gig economy are becoming more prevalent, the idea of career flexibility and freedom is highly coveted. However, this freedom often comes with instability, financial stress, and the constant feeling of needing to find something better. People with the Puer Aeternus mindset are drawn to these opportunities, but can easily become lost when faced with uncertainty or practical challenges. Psychological consequences. The cycle of discontent. Living as an eternal child in modern society has more than just surface-level effects. Psychologically, it can lead to chronic dissatisfaction. Without a clear path, every decision feels like there's something better out there. Fear of failure. When you never commit to anything, you never have to face the possibility of failure. But this also prevents you from learning and growing. Disconnection. Relationships, whether personal or professional, often require commitment and stability, qualities the eternal child struggles with. How to face this reality. Understand that modern culture isn't the enemy. It's a mirror reflecting your inner tendencies. Instead of letting it control you, you can use it as a tool to gain deeper insight into yourself. Learn to accept limits. Not every opportunity is meant for you, and that's okay. Start small before committing big. Begin with smaller commitments, like finishing a short-term project or maintaining a positive habit. Ask yourself about true value. What truly brings meaningful fulfillment to your life? This can be the starting point for creating a more focused life. In the next section, we'll explore how to transform the power of the eternal child archetype into a motivating force for growth and how to integrate it with other archetypes to create a more balanced life. Part 3. The shadow of the archetype. Like any archetype in Jungian psychology, the Puer Aeternus, the eternal child, not only carries positive traits but also harbors a profound shadow side. This shadow represents a part of human nature that, if left unchecked or unrecognized, can lead to weakness and a sense of being lost in life. To fully understand this archetype, we must confront its darker aspects, as these are the very elements that create the inner conflict and tension for those who embody the eternal child. Unfulfilled dreams. One of the most evident dark aspects of the eternal child is being stuck in unrealized dreams, constantly yearning for freedom and new beginnings, but lacking the ability or determination to turn those dreams into reality. Those who carry this archetype may set grand, inspirational goals, yet they never truly take action. Each new dream emerges, and they chase it without ever completing the last one. This leads to a vicious cycle, from unfinished plans to disappointment, and the feeling of never really accomplishing anything. These individuals often feel like they live in a state of untapped potential, but can't seem to figure out how to bring it to fruition. This dissatisfaction isn't due to a lack of ability, but rather a lack of commitment and a fear of facing reality. Fear of aging and commitment. Another dark side of this archetype is the fear of aging and long-term commitment. The eternal child often resists confronting change and the responsibilities that come with adulthood. They may feel frightened at the thought of growing up, of making important decisions, and committing to a single path. This can manifest as avoiding long-term relationships, shying away from sticking with one job or one goal, and instead, they constantly seek new changes, fresh adventures, and unexplored territories. When this fear takes over, it robs them of the chance to develop personally and build a stable life. These individuals often pass up opportunities for growth and stability in pursuit of vague or ill-defined desires, which ultimately leaves them feeling their lives lack depth and fulfillment. The vicious cycle of disappointment. When one avoids reality and clings to impossible dreams, disappointment becomes an unavoidable part of life. Every time they start a new project or dream, they may feel they're on the verge of success, but when they fail to follow through, disappointment creeps in. This can lead to a sense of emptiness and incompleteness, as nothing ever gets finished. Those who embody the eternal child archetype often feel like they live in a world of unfinished ideas, lamenting missed opportunities simply because they couldn't commit. How to transform this shadow? While the shadow of this archetype is inevitable, the key is to recognize it and transform it rather than letting it dominate your life. Here's how to begin. Face maturity. Don't fear commitment and responsibility. In fact, they are the keys to personal growth and fulfillment. Start small, commit to a specific goal, and focus on following through with it. Turn dreams into action. Dreams and creativity are not inherently bad, but without action, they are nothing more than illusions. Find practical ways to turn your dreams into reality with detailed, achievable plans. Embrace change. Confront the fear of aging and change, because only by accepting change can you truly grow and achieve a sense of wholeness in life. By recognizing and handling the shadow of the eternal child, you not only learn to master your dreams, but also create a meaningful and fulfilling life. In the next section, we'll explore how to combine the strengths of the eternal child with other archetypes to create a more harmonious and well-rounded existence. Part 4. How to integrate this archetype. According to Carl Jung, the path to wholeness and personal development isn't about avoiding or denying psychological archetypes. It's about understanding and integrating them into our lives. Archetypes, though latent psychological forces within all of us, aren't things to be discarded. Instead, they can become powerful drivers of growth if we learn to master and incorporate them in a balanced way. This is especially true for the Puer Aeternus archetype, the eternal child. Learning to balance creative passion with a sense of responsibility allows us not only to explore our boundless potential, but also to live a fulfilling, harmonious, and purposeful life. Balancing creativity and responsibility. One of the biggest challenges when dealing with the eternal child archetype is finding the balance between creativity and responsibility. Those who embody this archetype are often drawn to unlimited freedom and creativity, but without responsibility, they can easily fall into a state of perpetual daydreaming with little to show for it. Jung suggested that integrating this archetype requires us to nurture our creative abilities while also learning to bring those ideas into the real world with responsibility. This doesn't mean abandoning creativity or cutting ties with the desire for freedom. Rather, it's about learning to ground these impulses in reality. Creativity can be a powerful driving force, but if not linked to purposeful action, it remains nothing more than empty energy. Self-reflection. To help guide this integration process, Jung recommended asking yourself a few key questions. Are my dreams grounded in reality? This is the crucial question to assess whether your dreams are practical and achievable. Dreams can be magnificent and creative, but are they realistic? Avoiding reality can trap you in endless fantasy without any progress. Do your dreams have a solid foundation to become reality? Am I committed enough to make my dreams a reality? Commitment is key. Are you willing to work hard and persist to make your dreams come true? Commitment means facing challenges, failures, and setbacks, but it's also the only way to build success and maturity. Am I willing to face challenges for growth? Maturity doesn't come from easy adventures. It's the result of overcoming hardships and challenges. Facing uncertainty, change, and committing to a long-term path will help you grow stronger. Are you ready to embrace these challenges to mature and become stronger? Freedom through responsibility. While the eternal child archetype may lead us to believe that responsibility is an obstacle to freedom, in reality, responsibility is the gateway to a truly fulfilling and free life. Responsibility isn't a shackle. It's the foundation for creating a purposeful and meaningful existence. When you commit to a specific goal, you not only achieve results but also develop confidence and independence. This, in turn, allows you the freedom to explore the world in a deeper, more meaningful way. For example, if you want to pursue a creative career, such as writing a book, making a film, or developing a product, you can't just stop at the idea. You need to commit to the work, take action, and face the real-world challenges. Through this process, you'll discover that true freedom comes from the ability to make meaningful choices, not from avoiding responsibility. The key is commitment and sustainable growth. To integrate the eternal child archetype, you need to make a long-term commitment to personal development. This is a never-ending process, as each step is an opportunity for learning and growth. Remember, commitment doesn't mean giving up creativity or innovation. You can always retain your creative spirit, but commitment will help you turn that creativity into tangible results. With commitment and a deep connection between dreams and reality, you will not only integrate the eternal child archetype, but also build a balanced and harmonious life. This not only brings a sense of completion, but also allows you to truly enjoy the fruits of your creativity and efforts. Part 5. Conclusion. Exploring the eternal child archetype is a powerful journey towards self-awareness and growth. Rather than being trapped in its shadow, we can learn to harness its youthful energy to create a more meaningful life. Remember, maturity doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. It means learning to turn them into reality in the real world. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you recognize the eternal child in yourself? What will you do today to take one step closer to personal wholeness? If you enjoyed this content and want to continue your journey toward growth and self-discovery, make sure to hit that subscribe button on Evolving Minds. Join the community and stay connected with more insights and inspiration.